Hello and welcome to the first review episode of Never Onside. Hi, this is your host Joseph, and joining me as usual is Mayur Chopdekar. We have had a very interesting opening game week in the Premier League, and there has been some surprising results, some smashing debuts, and some great performance throughout the league. So, hi Mayur.
Hi Joseph, how are you? How was the weekend?
Oh, it was amazing. We were waiting for Premier League to start for a long while now, and finally we can say football is really back.
Yes, football is really back and it was a fun weekend. Enjoyed every bit of it. Seeing all the teams back in action finally after the preseason. It was a bit dicey here and there, but finally good to have real football back.
Yep. So let's move on to the first part of the podcast where we discuss the social media banter and the results of the week. So
Yes.
this is a typical Jurgen Klopp after disappointing result. Maybe this is how all the top managers kind of protect their team. They become the headline, not their team. You have seen it through Alex Ferguson, through Mourinho. It's always the manager who dominates the headlines once the team has a disappointing result, and the social media, you know, took over this, and we had our fair share of laughs on this, right?
Definitely. It was fun to see. We had seen the German teams as of now doing a bit of banter here and there. They were quite in the news always. But this is the second time, after I remember correctly, Chelsea did a thing where they took all the messages from Brighton for Kukureya and they turned
Ah,
it into a social media post.
yeah,
So this is something again coming from the English sides. This is always fun to see how creative they get with their social media banters, and at the end of the day is a game of engagements and they successfully got it.
yeah. Definitely. Yeah. So moving forward, we'll be discussing about the results of the game week. We had a couple of surprising results, and also some of them were as we expected. For example, United, we all expected that, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was
So
something.
that's yeah. So it was a crazy game week, and let's start from the top, where the season opener happened at Selhurst Park with Crystal Palace, hosting Arsenal. This was a very anticipated match, especially because Arsenal had a very good preseason, and we were absolutely excited to see what Arteta had planned. And this was kind of an opening match in which you would definitely expect Arsenal to lose because it was against Crystal Palace. Even I think last season they had, started off on the back foot after a defeat. So we were absolutely excited to see Arsenal. At the same time, Crystal Palace is an opponent who would usually disappoint the top teams. So this was a great match. The first 15 minutes was amazing from Arsenal. You could see what the blueprint was. Crystal Palace could not live with the Arsenal front four initially, and Jesus and Sinchenko has just slotted in perfectly for Arsenal. The only problem which I could see is that what happened after the first 15 minutes? There was a drop off definitely after the second in the second half, and this is expected from like we discussed from the last podcast, that this is expected from a very young side who will eventually get used to having the ways of attacks and defending well, and that will eventually happen. Right now, this is such a positive sign for Arteta because the way how they kept the clean sheet. Ramsdale was amazing. And in the second half, even though the Crystal Palace fans were reeling the ball into the Arsenal goalposts, they stood their ground. They decided to, stand their ground, which we have not seen in the past with Arsenal, and that shows that a character building process is also happening in Arsenal, and the likes of Odegaard being captain might be also a result of this. Like Arteta would want resilient side more than anything. Yeah. So, what was your take on this?
So you put it perfectly. The first 30-35 minutes, even Carragher mentioned it looked like a side, like it looked like it was Liverpool or City who were playing the first 30-35
Yeah.
minutes. Very seamless in their transitions, in using the space, in coming. The attack was very good. And as you mentioned, in the second half, they lost a bit of track, which is expected again. Young side
Yeah.
coming through the ranks. But again, as we know, William Saliba, who was a rock at the back, and after his long-awaited debut for Arsenal, he showed why he was a good player and why he deserved that centre back spot for him. So you mentioned most of the points. Again, Ramsdale was very good. A good. Just I wanted to point out, Zaha was acting as the main outlet for like for every counter attack for Crystal Palace, but Ben White, who usually plays in the center back but was playing at the right back spot. We definitely saw how he controlled Zaha and how he kept him in limits. He was troubling a bit, but overall White took control very well, and it's something you should applaud, because everyone went to Saliba. Everyone was like, yeah, Saliba was the man of the match, understood. But even Ben White had a major role to play on that right hand side and to lock Zaha throughout the game.
Yeah, definitely. Um, this is the Fulham versus Liverpool match, which we would be discussing next. And I would say this match was the surprise package of Game Week 1, especially because everyone expected Liverpool to blow away Fulham. Because to be fair, we actually expected all the three newcomers to find it tough in the Premier League. But Fulham were amazing, man. Like you could see that. I heard Gary Neville say that Fulham did what Liverpool would do to any side. Like they had more aggression, they had more passion, they were hunting for the ball, they were pressing when required, they were brilliant. And this is what the Premier League throws at us, some surprise packages. And Mitrovic was, again, the catalyst. I had my doubts with him because even the last two times, you could see that he wasn't performing in the level in which he was doing in the championship. But this was an amazing reminder of how beautiful the Premier League is.
Yes, so as you mentioned, Mitrovic, first of all, he played very well, coming back to help it out, like in the midfield, running onto the Liverpool's goal post, and again he always attacked the wider areas, like he moved to a bit wider areas eventually, because he knew it wasn't very easy to go past Van Dijk, so it was very good movement and
Mm.
smart movement. As for Fulham, they played in a 4-4-2 and mid block, and they made it really difficult for Liverpool to pass through the half spaces and lines, which eventually frustrated Liverpool in the first half. And if I remember correctly, his name is Palhinha, right? Who had the best 45 minutes against Liverpool. He had 24
Mm.
touches. He he won most of the duels, his ground duels, his aerial duels, and he was just a treat to watch. And he set an example how a midfielder should play against a Liverpool side in future for other big teams as well. So yes, overall very happy with Fulham. Even the fans were happy, and this is something their
Yeah.
fans will be confident about in the upcoming matches, where they can give a tough fight to any of other team who comes to Craven Cottage in future.
Yeah. So Bournemouth also had a very good outing, um, because I expected Aston Villa to start well, but Bournemouth, I think both the goals were, ended up at the back of the net after a set piece, like not through a set piece exactly, but after the play through a set piece. So I think Lamar and Solanke scored, I guess. So it was a good match, a good resilient opening from Bournemouth, and Aston Villa has to, has to start winning against these kind of teams because they have a lot of good players in their ranks, but they couldn't, convert the chances that they had. And another surprising result would be the Leeds versus Wolves match because we never knew what we would get from these two sides. I wasn't sure what we would get because people were building up Wolves and people were saying Leeds might struggle because they lost a couple of their start players. So this was again a intriguing result, right? Wolves scoring first through Podence and Leeds fighting back and emerging victorious after good performance at the end, right?
Yes. So it was a very open game. Both the teams attacked very well. As we know, Leeds is known for taking those chances. They are bound to concede for those chances which they take. But overall, Leeds was the better team attacking wise, as in finishing the product. There was a penalty shout where Sa just went and rammed into a defender. So there were few chances which would have made this match maybe a 3-1 or a 4-1. But overall, Leeds were the better team and they deserved victory. But Wolves also, in attack, they were very good. And in future, both the teams will attack. They are known for attacking. So a very good game to watch, and it was a very open game. So it was fun to watch.
Yeah. So Nottingham Forest was the next, you know, new team on the block, but Newcastle absolutely dominated that game throughout the match, and it was, a convincing performance from Newcastle at the end with the 2-0 win. And so now we have discussed the three newcomers, and it's fair to say that Fulham and Bournemouth have done their homework. And if they continue to have that, that courage and have that motivation to keep playing like this, they could, move up from the bottom three. They can. We are too early into the season, but and it's very difficult to sustain this. But this is a promising start for both the sides. And I would say Spurs match was the most impressive of the matches because they went one down, and we were all waiting patiently for Conte's side since they had a lot of sensible and pragmatic, additions to their side, especially what Conte wanted. And they had one of the best transfer windows among all the sides, right? Yeah, so this was a great match in which we could see what Conte was planning with his, wing backs, and Sessegnon was all over the Southampton backline, and it was fun to watch what Perisic could also bring eventually. Like we could see the uh, plan from Conte, and even after going one down, they stick to their plans and executed everything that Conte would have wanted. What was your take on this?
So, as you mentioned, the wing backs, those are the most important players in a Conti system. And we saw whenever the ball was on the right hand side, the left wing back was in the box, along with Kuluse, maybe a Kane, Son, or and the left wing back. Whenever the ball was on the left hand side, the right wing back was in the box. We saw both the wing backs getting attacking returns. Sessegnon got a goal. Emerson Royal got 2 assists. So those are the best players to like they have upgraded them as well. We have Perisic and Doherty, who both are known for their attacking prowess as well. So it will be really fun to see how they cope up. Conte also said that he wanted the original players, that are the who players from the last season, to get more game time, and they had to prove why they were in the starting team, and the substitutes or maybe the signings this summer, they have to again prove why they are better than them. So he gave chance to Sessegnon and Emerson Royal, unless like we always knew Perisic was his favorite, but he still didn't start him. So this gives that wingback competition a good fun way, and we can see how they will fight for it, and it's always entertaining. We saw how Kane was a bit deep, and both the wing backs, Kulusevski's son, all four of those made those runs into the box, and it was just fun to see. And Southampton, as we predicted, might be the third team which might get relegated or on the verge of relegation. And we saw why, because their defense is in absolute shambles. And I'm not expecting much from Southampton. So let's see how they play out as well. But a good game for
So
Spurs, and it was a deserved result.
yeah. So I think the man of the match would be Dejan Kulusevski, because he was outstanding. Because the balls which he put in from the left, from the right side, were like crazy good. And he is someone who is continuing to impress from the day he has signed. Right? He has been a revelation in FPL as well, with a lot of people taking him in his side last year. And this year, I guess his pricing is a bit high, but I think he is one person who will again, you know, impress us this season as well. So next up, we have Everton versus Chelsea. And if you look at the matches, you would say the tough matches would be like just because of the preseason that Chelsea had. Everton also had a really bad preseason, but Chelsea had to prove themselves in this match. They had to start off winning, just like how how United would have wanted, because even though there were some issues, um, Chelsea has gone out and won the match, and they have showed that whatever happened in the past, in the preseason, in whatever happened in the ownership at Chelsea, Tuchel is like, let's perform on the pitch, let's get through the matches one by one, and then we'll see. Because this could have also gone wrong. Everton was playing well,
Yeah.
because we know at Goodison Everton would be a difficult side.
Dominators.
You can beat them, but it's just that they will be more, determined to put on a better performance at their home ground, because that's what they were doing last season towards the end to escape relegation. So Chelsea, there was a tweet in which you could see Sterling making runs, but surprise, surprise, who is giving him the ball this time? It's not Kevin De Bruyne. It's Kante or sometimes Jorginho, who are in that central position when Sterling is making those runs, and they didn't even see his runs, to be honest. So Sterling was moving well. He had a couple of good chances as well. But Chelsea are definitely lacking in terms of a fluid attack. We could see a lot of shots from outside the box, and I always say that there are tipping points in matches. So you can say that maybe that tackle by Decore on Chilwell, that tipped the match in Chelsea's favor, because up till that point Everton were, they were going toe to toe with Chelsea as well. Even um, uh, the midfield from Chelsea, was a bit lacking, which needs attention, I guess, and that's what Tuchel is trying to do right now. But my concern with Chelsea is that their recruitment is like what do you call a ping pong? They are called the hijack FC right now. So it's like, let's see what the other managers wants, and then we'll go after them, because they those players are already certified by some other manager. It almost feels like that, how their recruitment is happening in some areas. So uh, that is a concern for Chelsea. And if they had, started off with a defeat, then we would have got a lot more attention on this Chelsea side, right?
Yes. So just to sum it up, you said perfectly. The main Sterling made those runs. He came back. He had his time. But as you said, no one is there to supply. Their best passer in midfield, which is probably Kovacic. I don't know, for some reason Tuchel doesn't like him, or doesn't. I don't know. He doesn't prefer him to start. And Jorginho and Kante are not known for their balls. They progress the ball, but they are not a progressive passer. So again,
Yeah.
that is something they should work on. Kovacic is their best passer of the ball, who currently doesn't feature in the starting 11 for some reason. Again, one more thing, Sterling made those runs, but what Sterling is known for is he can attack the space, but there should be someone who can drag those other defenders towards him so he can attack that space. So a forward, maybe like as they are going for Oba. I'm not sure about Oba. Being an Barca fan, Depay was the best option, who likes to take the players like towards him and can create space for others to run in. So that is kind of a player profile which Sterling can play better with. So those are the two parts where Chelsea should definitely look for. They are going for Oba, as Fabrizio tweeted today. So let's see what happens. And for the defense, Koulibaly, water defender, probably a bet. I don't know, but in my opinion, he was an upgrade on Rudiger. He played that left center
Oh,
back
that's a
role
big
very
call.
well. Yes, he played that left center back role very well. That pass for the Chilwell penalty, perfectly perfect pass. He angled his body well to just slip that pass through. So a very good player which Chelsea have got. They are going for Fofana. So let's see how it turns out to be. Where will Fofana play? Where will Koulibaly play? Whether he moves to right center back. So there are quite a few questions, but the most impressive player for me was Koulibaly. Their wing backs, I wasn't very impressed. What we expect from James is a good performance, but he was very dull on the day and didn't provide too many good balls in the box and whatever he's known for. So overall, they were like, Chelsea will be happy to get the 3 points, or else they might have struggled some for it. So they should be happy they got all the 3 points and move on and look to further strengthen their team in the remaining 3 weeks of the transfer window.
Yeah. So Sunday had some big hitters playing, United and City match, and Leicester was 2-2 against Brentford. Brentford showed character to come back. Tony was there again, and Leicester would be disappointed at the result. But Brentford, I thought they would struggle to score goals because Eriksen left. But what is mark of this Brentford side is the character they show sometimes, right? Not every day, but they have that spirit in them, and you can't write them off, in matches. So let's discuss the two big hitters: City against West Ham. We had very big player making his debut. Most We can say the most awaited debut of the Premier League this season, which was Haaland, and he was impressive to say the least. But it sometimes looks as if it's not fair, like a superhuman figure playing in the attacking line of City,
City.
because the way he runs, the aggression, the strength, the pace, the understanding of the game, and something which he is not yet a complete piece, by no means, because scoring two goals is not the end with Pep, because right, Pep wants something, and even if you score two goals, he might not be happy with you. So, So Haaland was impressive, and he is on penalty duties as well. It looks like he is on penalty duties as well. And the acceleration that he showed to beat the keeper to win a penalty, and I didn't see him even appeal for the penalty. Like he just went down. He's like, he didn't even appeal for that. He knew it. Like he had done the goalkeeper at that point of time, and the passing was from Gundogan. It was a perfectly weighted pass, and he took it away from the goalkeeper and won the penalty. And up till then, just like I would say for the Chelsea match, West Ham were, you know, they were as usual. They were, trying to make it very difficult for City to, you know, cut through them. And these are points in games which can, especially for a side like City, who found a lot of space in behind after they scored the first goal, where we saw the second goal, which was a typical Bundesliga goal, the likes of Werner and Haaland, who would be scoring with space in behind the defense, and they would just run onto the ball. And the goalkeeper's positioning was a bit, off, but it was a cool finish from Haaland. And this is something we would be accustomed to once Haaland sets into the team. It was by no means a perfect performance, I would say, because City are way better than this. But away from home at West Ham is a very difficult match for any side. Moyes makes sure that you don't get easy 3 points with West Ham. So yeah, that was a good match to watch actually. What do you think?
Yes. So as you mentioned, City, I thought never went to a second gear or third gear. They were just cruising in their first gear. So as you said, there are a lot of layers for this City team to score more goals, be more dominant, and in future matches. But West Ham, even Moyes said his in post-match conference that he was taken aback by the two fullbacks coming as pivots, playing as pivots, and passing those half spaces and balls in those spaces. They were quite taken aback by that, and they couldn't understand how to stop it. That was what Moyes said is in press post match conference. So this is something Pep did brilliantly, playing those two wing backs as DMs and using them. We know what Cancelo can do when he plays as the DM. His passing accuracy is very good. And the second goal for Haaland, what we can say, that was never a City goal. In the past seasons, I would never think that was a City goal or City can score that kind of goal. That was a typical Haaland goal, which is the thing which gives City like a extra dimension in other games as well. Like even now, City can score those kind of goals as well. So again, City was already a very dominant side and had various attacking outlets, but now this another attacking Arsenal which they have. So it will be a very interesting thing to watch. Man City. I'm
Yeah,
very buzzing to see Man City in future games and how they cope up with this.
yeah, yeah. So considering the fact that Liverpool lost points, City are off to a great start now. And it's those 1 or 2 points which will eventually, be the difference at the end of the season, because these are two top sides who don't slip up usually. And so, speaking of slip ups, we have Manchester United, who are made it a habit of, disappointing their fans. And no surprises here. You can put an emoji saying that disappointed but not surprised, because that is the that is what I felt. And to sum up the match, you can say that 3 goals were scored in the match, and none of them were by United players. So that sums up the match entirely, because Dan Potter did a job on Eric Ten Hag and said, "Welcome to the Premier League. This is how we do it here." And this was a very impressive performance by Brighton. They almost played very, you know, uh, almost a 3-3 1 with Welbeck up front. and the wing backs who were like wingers only with Trossard and March, I think, playing on the left and right. And like we discussed in the season preview podcast, I told you like Dalot doesn't cover himself in glory when he plays against a well oiled side, because within the first minute, I think Dalot was pressed, I think by Trossard, and that was the first, the big movement of the match within the first 1 minute, I think. So. So we can see that the personnel, first of all, we can see that the personnel is not there for Eric Ten Hag. Um, and, even going forward, Ericsson playing as number nine is questionable. Even, I don't know, I'm not a huge Ronaldo fan, but I think I would play an unfit Ronaldo over, playing Ericsson as number. And maybe Ten Hag was trying to put his foot down, saying like you weren't there for the preseason, so you sit. So that was a statement, but that didn't justify. The tactics was not good enough, because we were pressed on the right moments, and Brighton played through long balls from Sanchez, because I was reading an article in which they were saying usually Brighton has 9% of their long balls in a match. They play 9% long balls, and this time versus United they played 13% of their big like their long balls were played by Brighton. So that is a clear shift which took Eric Ten Hag and United off guard, because they were not expecting it. Because I think in the press conference, Ten Hag was saying like, uh, "See, we stopped them because they were not playing out from the back." So he expected them to play out from the attack, and they clearly didn't. And they played a very ingenious formation to stop our two fullbacks from attacking as well. And we didn't see much of Luke Shaw or Dalot. Dalot was, every time we watch Dalot, I feel very sad because he's not offering anything on in the attacking front as well, because he was in a good position in a couple of attacking moments, but he failed to find the right person or his teammate at that time. And just like I was telling for the Chelsea match, one movement which could have changed the outcome of the match, and we would have been saying that United are not looking good, but they grinded out a result. That would have been that Bruno Fernandes chance in the 6th minute, which might have tipped the match in favor of United, because United is a very confident based side. Once they get a goal, they can move on and finish the game off sometimes. But that didn't happen, and Brighton were dominant in most of the first half, and the second half, United tried to get back into the game, but again they didn't score the goal. It was an own goal, so it was just the pressure which caved, but not the finishing from United, which we would expect. Even Rashford had a beautiful chance, which was called as offside. But uh, looking at the replay, I didn't think Ronaldo was offside. It was a brilliant run by him. But um, so Rashford is definitely not in his prime. Like, he is not confident at all. He couldn't beat Sanchez in that open post almost. Like, he couldn't do that. So yeah, what was your take on United and the Brighton match?
So you put it up very well. There was a another post match post match interview which I was seeing from Lalana. So you said Sanchez played 13% of his balls as long balls. So he
Even
in the
played more
interview,
long balls,
yes,
13% long
in the
balls, and
interview,
Sanchez played a lot of it. Yeah.
yes. In the interview, Lalana mentioned that they knew from the preseason that United were very good at pressing in the initial stage. So they always had that plan of playing long ball outs, because that would put the players in a state of confusion to what to do. if their main thing is not happening, so what to do? So that was their clear plan, which worked out. You mentioned it yourselves. And the second thing was Fred was a pressing trigger for them. So Lalana mentioned briefly, whenever Fred received the ball, it was a pressing trigger. And initially when they pressed twice or thrice, Fred started making mistakes, and they
Yeah.
grew more confident about it. So you can
Yeah.
desperately see why Eric Tenak needs a Frankie De Jong in that position, because he knows
Yeah.
how he can take the ball, how he can progress the ball ahead, and how we know Fred is not able to do, and how easily the opponents can target Fred and use him as a
Yeah.
pressing trigger. So there
Yeah.
are certain things which we can clearly see why Eric Ten Hag wants, but whether they are getting it or not, that's a different story for
Yeah.
the
So
time being.
I was surprised because in the preseason he played 4-2-3-1, and with two pivots. But this time he went for Fred as a lone pivot, and McTominay played higher up, and Fernandez played also on the left side. So basically, Fred was outnumbered, and he didn't have anyone close in midfield to give the outlet to. So that was something which surprised me because I thought he would stick with the formation that he was using in the preseason. And Lisandro Martinez was also another surprise because he started. Because I thought if Malasia is holding him back for low show, I thought someone else would start, Lindelof, someone would start because they know the Premier League better. And he found it difficult with Welbeck. I don't know how, but Welbeck, Lallana, these kind of, you know, on the fence players, they come out and perform against United. They have something to prove. They will every time. I was surprised when the commentator said this was the first time Brighton has won against United at Old Trafford, because every match I watch against Brighton, I see that Brighton is dominating. Brighton is a well-oiled team because they have been playing together for a long time now, and every time I see United play Brighton, I just close my eyes and hope, like somehow some personal, brilliance would win us the match, because there is no way United can compete with a well-structured team like Brighton in the past 3 years, because we were in shambles for, you know, uh, for a lot of time in the past when after Graham took over, we have always struggled against that side. Yeah. So enough said. Let's move on to the next slide, which is you know another banter material. Something which I fail to understand is that you know um, Eric Ten Hag said that it's not about going for players; it's about signing the right players. In preseason, this is what he said. See, it's about signing the right person. It's not about I don't want a lot of signings. So, I want the right person for the right position. And then after you lose one match, you see headlines like you are going for Marco Arnautovic and Rabiot, and that makes me feel very surprised. I would say I'm not surprised. That's not the word. I don't know. I feel like they have, I have placed a bit of trust in Aritana and the new structure that they have in place, and they are not living up to what I expected them to do, because I thought there would be a coherent plan. We are not going to sign unless we have the right players, but then uh, they go out and go for Marco Arnautovic. I can't believe that. Like that is the that is the uh, perfect example of a panic buy for United, I would say. And and they pulled out because the fans said they don't like it. Like typical,
But at
not
least they
because
pulled out.
yeah, that thankfully I don't know how I would have justified if this deal had gone through, because you know I feel to be honest, I feel very sad for Eric Ten Hag, because, like we said in the season preview podcast, that he was not given the people or the personnel that he wanted or he would have wanted to, you know. take United and reduce the gap with the top sides, because at the end of the day, it's McFred who is playing in midfield, and we have a couple of signings, but it's not good enough. It's not good enough to be a top four side right now, right?
That is true. So I could feel all the feelings as an United fan coming out, the rant kind of stuff. So as an outsider, I genuinely don't know, as you said, what they are doing, panic buying, really. Again, the main thing is Juventus are going for Paredes, who plays as PSG. So I've seen quite a lot of PSG matches, and I know for sure Paredes will be a very good upgrade. So instead of going for Rabiot, my whole thing was, why don't United go for Paredes? Because he's a very good upgrade on your current midfield, and he understands the role, and he's kind of Frankie De Jong in progressing the ball. So I can understand, but again, I am also uh, lost for words why they are going for Rabiot. And again, United fans and United pundits and everyone were complaining how Pogba was a toxic thing to the whole dressing room and kind of stuff. So even we have heard news of Rabiot, how his mother, when he was playing for Juventus, made things like worse for his teammates and for the manager. So again, it's something which United is circling back again to what they eventually complained and made Pogba go. It's coming back to that thing only. So I'm just hoping for United to make some sensible signings. Rabiot is kind of still will do a better job than what McFred are doing currently. That I understand completely, but he's not someone who can make you challenge top four in the Premier League currently. So I am again not sure. In the upcoming days, I hope there will be more signings. And for Frankie De Jong, I think it's over. United, he won't be going to United. So
Yeah.
now it's. I even read there is some internal. Like agreement on Frankie won't be joining, so they are looking out for options. So Rabiot was never a like substitute for Frankie De Jong. He was always considered. That's what the reports are. But I am not sure at this point what's happening. It's just panic buying for us to see as an outsider. So there is nothing more to explain. I just hope they get one or two decent players with Eric Tenek can work with, and at least they can challenge for the fifth place at least minimum. That is what required. So let's see. That is the hope I have for United.
Yeah. And so moving on, we have Mayur's favorite club, Barcelona, and their antiques. That is what we'll be discussing, and I'm going to stop ranting, and the stage is all yours, Mayur.
Yeah, so for the past couple of weeks or maybe 3 4 weeks, you can see every English media guy or reporter coming onto Barcelona, making things look like it's the worst thing they are doing, or it's not just right, morally right. Whereas in the past, many clubs have done, which is far higher order, like higher up the order than what Barcelona is doing. I understand, because it's quite a lot of players who were supposed to go to these English clubs like United, Chelsea are being snubbed from there. That's why even the fans are reacting, and those journalists are getting their tweets, engagements, and everything. But most of the journalists are do not have the complete knowledge what they have. They just take out words and put it out as whatever suits their agenda. So again here, which you could see, board for not being paid, not for being paid wages. This was for Braithwaite. So again, this is a half statement correct. He was not just booed for not like being paid wages. So he wanted a letter of freedom, which is basically he won't get, like Barca won't get any money for his sale. Whereas there are 2 3 clubs, even Brighton went for Braithwaite, and they were ready to offer 5 million, 10 million, or some amount. But he wanted to get a letter of freedom, which ensures that he goes on a free transfer, and all the money which Barca will get eventually goes to him. So he has a offer from Saudi Arabia, which like currently pays 3 times more what he's earning at Barcelona. So it's a half thing which all the journalists are saying. And you could see Bayern Munich's CEO also mentioned whether like will Barcelona exist in 2 years. So this is all the rumors and murmurs, things which are going on in the social media, and everything is half correct and half which suits their agenda. So, but on the other hand, you could see even Real Betis, who signed the CVC deal, which was offered to a lot of teams in La Liga. It's a media thing where they sell their rights. Even they are not able to register their six new signings. So, as per the FFP in Spain, it's very tough considering all the things. It's not as fluid or anything. And a lot of clubs, not just Real Betis, Valencia, Sevilla, and there are few more clubs which are struggling to register their new signings. But did you hear any of those clubs being mentioned? No, right? Because the agenda is against Barcelona, because they are not, they are the worst club, they are doing everything
So,
wrong.
someone before this podcast, someone texted me saying that, the worst thing about Barcelona is that their fans still end up supporting them, while United will at least say, let's boycott the Liverpool match, because that is exactly what is on show here right now. So, I
So
don't expect anything else from you. And
yeah, so
yeah,
just to end this, I agree, Frankie de Jong is an exception. The way board has gone on treated him, it's not right, because he loves the club. It's his dream club, he always wanted to play. And so it is not right side, like on the right foot. They could have always
yeah,
like spoke with him in other ways as well. So that is the only wrong thing which I feel. Other things are gamble, which Barcelona might have to pay in the future years if they don't win. And whole Laporta story and whole Laporta aim is that he always wanted a team which will win on pitch. So everything like everything apart from that, like tickets, fans, and everything, money will eventually come if the team wins on field. So that is his
mm, mm, mm,
basic ideology, so he's going for that. So again, everything is fair. I don't see the wrong things. Only thing is Frankie de Jong could have been dealt in a better way, which even being a Barca fan, I feel sorry for him, because he's a Barca fan again, his dream club and everything. So that is the only
okay.
problem I see.
Yeah. So we are in the 47th minute. We have, gone beyond our time. So let's quickly round up and discuss the rest of the agenda for the day. So this is
Yes.
League One overview, which we'll go through very quickly because we don't want to overshoot the time. Cool. Yeah, my go ahead with this.
Yes. So in League One, every team which you thought would win won their matches. The only surprising result was for Nice, who played very badly, and Toulouse, who is a promoted team. They absolutely like showed them. It was just like Fulham, Liverpool. They showed they can give a fight to any team. Paris Saint Germain played very well. It was against another promoted team. It was always destined to be a 3-0, 4-0. But the Neymar Messi vibes from
Yeah,
old Barca
definitely there.
is what I very well connected to, and I
Yeah,
enjoyed it. Monaco
yeah,
again started on the right foot. They got a red card in the first half at 27th minute or something. So we just see 2-1, or else it would have been 3-4 final in the first half itself. They played very well. And Olympiacos, Lacazette made his debut. He assisted and scored one, and they were on their merry route to win the match. In the second half, they were a bit dicey here and there, but they secured their win, and it was good to see. So all the major teams winning. So nothing to uh, as of now play as of now. Only Marseille as well,
yeah,
the team which is supposed to be finished second. It's what my prediction is. Even they had a convincing victory. They didn't start with Payet, who is their key player. They brought on Payet. There is some murmurs going on. There is not the best relations between the manager and the players. But let's see how it develops in the future. But every major team winning the league, and it's straightforward as of now for the first game week.
yeah. Yeah, so for me, PSG looks like a good side right now, and they are contenders for the UCL this time because quietly they have done their business and they have a solid side right now. And the League One is never in question, but let's see if they can, you know, go where no man has done has gone before in terms of from the Paris point of view. So moving on to Bundesliga, again the big surprise was that Bayern won 6-1. Uh, like we discussed in the previous show, that Bayern would, run away with it in the end. That could happen because the early signs are like that. And I had discussed that Bayern is moving away from their traditional, that lone striker who could score a 30, 40 goal approach to a well-oiled side who can chip with goals from everywhere. Everyone in the team in the front three or four can, you know, chip in with goals. So that is exactly what we saw in the match. And to add to that, in the last two matches, I think that's the Super Cup and in the first league match, Bayern has had five different scorers. So I'll just leave it there because that is exactly what we predicted with Mane, Sane, and Gnabry, coming in with Muller as well. And Jamal Musiala was very impressive with two goals. He's a 19-year-old kid who has impressed in this match and will be a promising player moving forward. And Joshua Kimmich started the onslaught with a free kick, which I didn't even see because there was smoke coming in, and I couldn't even see it going in. I'm sure the keeper also didn't see it because it was 30, 40 yards away from a very difficult angle. And Kimmich, for his technicality, did what most people wouldn't go for, an audacious a free kick, and it went in. So, which was followed by Benjamin Pavard, who scored another goal. He also scored in the Super Cup as well. And Mane, the debutant, scored a header. And for me, the man of the match was Gnabry, because he scored, he assisted, he was everywhere. He was orchestrating the play for Bayern Munich. Yeah, so the next team would be by Dortmund, and they won a very tight match, 1-0 against Bayern Leverkusen, which was, we predicted this to be a tight match, and it proved to be a very, uh, very feisty affair with Marco Reus scoring, and Bellingham and Ademi were very impressive. And That was a result from Dortmund. And Dortmund has started off with a win. And another update from the Bundesliga is that the superstar is back. Don't worry if you have lost Lewandowski and Haaland. The rightful heir is back with Werner joining Leipzig, and Sesko is also set to
Yes,
join
yes,
Leipzig in 2023 summer.
2023.
And yeah, so that is another update from the Bundesliga, and that would bolster the Leipzig attack. Yeah, that is something we are looking forward to because Werner is going to run rights again in the Bundesliga. So that is the quick overview from the Bundesliga. Rest, what else do we have?
So let's move on to
That's it,
the
right?
Super Cup.
Yeah,
Yes, for today.
yeah. So Real Madrid versus Frankfurt at the Olympic Stadium will be happening tonight, and we are all looking forward to this match with Real Madrid. I expect Real Madrid to win this. What do you think? But Frankfurt is a cup, specialist side. But they got just thrashed by
That's
Bayern
right.
6-1. But you know, in this one of matches, Frankfurt can surprise you. But Real Madrid again, they know how to get over the line. So something which we are looking forward to tonight.
So Real Madrid has just played three games in their preseason, if I'm correct, and one was against Barcelona, which I saw. So they looked a bit rusty in the first game, but the Juventus game they were good. So again, just three games, so I won't judge them. So probably a narrow win for Real Madrid, maybe a 2-1, because the player quality in Madrid is absolutely phenomenal. And even if Frankfurt tries to do something, I think Madrid has the option, and their midfield trio of Cruz, Modric, and Casemiro, plus the new ones, Tushameni, Kamavinga, and others, would be. enough to get them a win. So it's a good outing for Madrid to be a competitive preseason friendly, which they have a title online. So I predict 2-1 for Madrid. That's my prediction.
Hmm. Good. Even I think Real Madrid would come up and win it. I think it should be 2-0. Let's see how it goes tonight. Yeah. So what else do we have? This is FPL side from our podcast. We are planning to do a special episode for FPL later on as we move forward with Never On side. And Mayur is the pro FPL player. He has finished in the top section in a lot of years, and he's a go-to man. And I'll be just interviewing him basically going forward. So this is my starting off with 72 points, and I got 53 points. The difference here was Haaland. And as soon as I saw that Haaland was on penalty duties, I went and got him. And I took off Jesus and so on for Haaland and Saka.
Okay.
So I couldn't pair, a Bournemouth game at home, and we expect City to roll over, dominate that match. So that is what I have went for. What have you done?
I will be saving the transfer. It was the plan from beginning. I just hope Kane wouldn't like outscore Haaland, and that's what happened in the end. So I was very happy. My team is a very template team, so very happy with it for the time being. Just saving the transfer, and the in game week 3 I would be taking a -4, so maybe doing a mini wildcard kind of a thing, 3 transfers to just go and attack on players which we have seen for the first 2 weeks. That is the plan as of now.
Yeah. So for those of you guys who haven't joined our league yet, we have a very exciting league, and the league code is in the description as well as on the screen right now. So do join us and compete with us. Let's see how you fare with Mayur. Yeah, so that's it. We'll do a separate video for FPL later on once we settle in. Yeah, so that's it for this episode of Never Onside. Yep.
Yes, so
So,
do let us follow, like do follow us on Instagram. We have a page on Instagram. We also upload podcasts on Apple iPodcast and Spotify, and we are planning to do live streams of this podcast in future on our YouTube channel. Again, the name is Never On Said. All the links can be found out in the descriptions wherever you are listening, or if you are watching on YouTube, this will be uploaded as a video as well. So do follow us if you are curious, and if you want to join with us in future. We're definitely looking forward to, and do follow us on all our socials. Yes, and
yeah.
that's it
So
for this week.
that is Mayur and Joseph signing off.
Yes, thank you.